Queer life in ancient Rome was a complex and multifaceted aspect of society, with various layers and perspectives. In Roman society, same-sex relationships were not uncommon, and individuals who engaged in such relationships were often referred to as homosexual or gay today. In ancient Rome, same-sex relationships held a unique place within the upper echelons of society. It was not uncommon for wealthy aristocrats to engage in relationships with young male companions, referred to as catamites. These individuals were considered symbols of beauty and status, and their presence in the lives of these aristocrats often carried social significance. One way in which these relationships were formalized was through a practice known as pederasty. In this arrangement, an older man would take on a mentoring role for his younger male partner. The older man would provide guidance and education to the younger partner, while also engaging in a romantic or sexual relationship with him. While it is important to note that Roman attitudes towards same-sex relationships varied throughout different periods and social contexts, there were instances where such relationships were accepted and even celebrated within certain circles. This acceptance can be attributed to cultural norms surrounding beauty, power dynamics, and societal expectations prevalent at that time. It is worth mentioning that our understanding of these relationships is based on historical accounts and artistic representations from ancient Rome. As with any historical topic, it is essential to approach it with sensitivity and acknowledge the complexities inherent in examining societal attitudes towards sexuality across different cultures and eras. It is crucial to acknowledge the existence of social norms and expectations within relationships of the past. In particular, a hierarchical dynamic was noticeable, where the passive partner in a relationship was often stigmatized as being less masculine or effeminate. These attitudes towards gender roles were reflective of broader societal beliefs during that time period. Understanding and analyzing these historical dynamics helps us gain insights into the evolution of societal norms and how they have shaped our perceptions of gender roles today. In contrast, lower-class individuals engaged in same-sex relationships faced more scrutiny and condemnation. The Roman legal system did not explicitly criminalize homosexuality, however, there were laws that prohibited sexual acts deemed immoral or offensive to public decency. For lower-class individuals, same-sex relationships often attracted more attention and scrutiny. This can be attributed to the fact that societal norms and expectations were more rigidly enforced within lower social strata. The cultural values of the time emphasized traditional gender roles and familial structures, which often excluded or stigmatized non-heteronormative relationships. Despite the absence of explicit laws against homosexuality, lower-class individuals engaging in same-sex relationships risked facing legal consequences indirectly through laws targeting acts deemed immoral or offensive. These laws served as a means for authorities to condemn and punish any behavior that deviated from societal norms. Moreover, it is essential to consider that historical records primarily reflect perspectives from higher social classes. Consequently, information about how lower-class individuals specifically experienced discrimination for their same-sex relationships may be limited. In summary, while the Roman legal system did not directly criminalize homosexuality, lower-class individuals involved in same-sex relationships faced increased scrutiny and condemnation due to societal norms and laws targeting acts deemed immoral or offensive. The perception of queer life in ancient Rome was a complex and multifaceted issue. Depending on one's perspective, attitudes towards same-sex relationships varied significantly. While some individuals may have viewed these relationships with acceptance or indifference, others held negative opinions towards queer individuals. Roman writers, such as Seneca and Juvenal, expressed disdain for homosexual behavior in their works. They criticized and condemned same-sex relationships, often portraying them as morally objectionable or unnatural. These writers were influential in shaping public opinion during the time, and their negative portrayal of queer life likely had an impact on societal attitudes. However, it is important to note that not all Roman writers shared the same views. Some texts from this era suggest a more accepting or even celebratory attitude towards same-sex relationships. For example, certain erotic poetry by Catullus portrays homoerotic desire in a positive light. The perception of queer life in ancient Rome was undoubtedly influenced by a multitude of cultural and societal factors. Understanding this complex topic requires an exploration of the prevailing views, which were shaped by a combination of religious beliefs, social norms, and individual biases. It is important to approach this subject with the recognition that perspectives on queerness were diverse within Roman society, reflecting a range of attitudes and experiences. By examining these various influences and acknowledging the nuances within Roman culture, we can gain a deeper understanding of how queer individuals were perceived and treated in ancient Rome. Overall, while there were certainly negative portrayals of queer life in ancient Rome by influential writers like Seneca and Juvenal, It is crucial to recognize that attitudes towards same-sex relationships varied widely during this time period depending on individual beliefs and cultural context. It is important to approach the topic of queer life in ancient Rome with caution due to limited historical records and cultural biases present during that time period. Nevertheless, studying this aspect of history provides valuable insights into the diversity of human experiences across different societies throughout time.